Long ago, deep in the heart of an African forest, there was a village no one speaks of today. The people called it Abodonta, the village of whispers, because even the wind there carried secrets. In that village lived a man named Okoro, a palm wine tapper, known for his strength and grit. He was poor, but his heart was darker than the soot of his cooking pot. Okoro had only one child, a beautiful daughter named Kem, whose laughter once filled their small hut with light. Her mother had died giving birth to her, and Okoro often said the girl was both his curse and his blessing. But as Nkem grew, the land began to dry. The yam harvest failed, rivers sank into the earth, and hunger became the new god. The villagers said it was punishment from the spirits of the forest because someone had been taking what was forbidden. That someone was Okoro. He had been sneaking into the sacred grove at night, stealing palm nuts and kola that were meant for the gods. He sold them at the market of a distant village, earning cowries and food while others starved. The elders warned him, "The forest sees all. The gods count every seed you steal." But Okoro laughed. "Let the gods eat air. I must feed my belly." One night, thunder rumbled without rain. The wind mourned through the trees like a grieving woman. Okoro returned from the grove carrying a heavy calabash full of oil and palm kernels. But this time, he didn't notice the faint red glow following him from behind the trees. That night, as he slept, he dreamt of a shadowy woman with no face, standing at his doorway. She whispered, "You have eaten what is not yours. The debt will be paid in flesh." Okoro woke up sweating, his heart thundering like drums at a funeral. He looked around, his daughter Nkem was gone. Panic seized him. He called her name, but only the silence of the forest replied. At dawn, he found her sitting quietly by the shrine of the river goddess. Her eyes were wide and empty, her lips moving without sound. She told her father, "Baba, I dreamed that the gods want a feast, and they want me." Okoro's heart froze. "You must not speak such madness." But Nkem smiled sadly. "If you refuse, the river will take you both." That night, Okoro sat by his fire, trembling. He couldn't stop thinking about her words. Then a strange old woman came to his hut. No one saw her enter. Her skin looked like cracked wood, and her eyes glowed like dying embers. She spoke softly, "The gods hunger for sacrifice. But it need not be her soul, only her body." Okoro asked, "What do you mean?" She smiled with broken teeth. "If you pound her flesh into the offering bowl, your hunger will end forever." He gasped. "Pound my daughter?" "Yes," the old woman hissed. "Do it before dawn. Her blood will turn to gold, her bones to yams." Then she vanished into smoke. Okoro tried to shake off the dream like madness. But greed is a spirit that whispers sweetly. By midnight, he had made up his mind. He crept to his daughter's mat as she slept peacefully, her face glowing in the firelight. His hands trembled as he lifted her gently and carried her to the kitchen. He placed her into the great wooden mortar used for yam pounding. She woke up, dazed. "Baba, what are you doing?" He could not speak. His eyes were full of tears and madness. He raised the pestle high and struck once. Her scream pierced the forest. Dogs howled. Birds flew from their nests. He struck again and again until silence fell. When he looked down, the mortar overflowed with thick red blood. But then, just as the old woman said, something began to change. The blood shimmered and turned golden. The pieces of flesh became shining cowries and yam tubers. Okoro laughed. It's true. It's all true. He danced around the fire, mad with joy. By morning, he had buried the bones under his hut and hidden the gold in a clay pot. The villagers were shocked when he returned to the market with new clothes and baskets of food. He told them his fortune came from the gods. But at night, the wind began to whisper again. Okoro, where is your daughter? He tried to ignore it. Then came the smell. Sweet, like palm oil burning, but mixed with decay. He opened his hut door one night and found wet footprints leading from the mortar to his bed. Each night, the sound of pestle and mortar echoed through his hut, though he no longer cooked. The villagers said they saw smoke rising from his roof that smelled of flesh. Days turned into weeks. Okoro grew thin, haunted by shadows. One morning, the elders found him outside his hut, pounding something in the mortar again. But when they looked closer, the mortar was empty. He was pounding the air, laughing and crying at once. His hands were red though there was no blood. He looked up at them and said, "She won't stay down. She keeps rising." Then he collapsed. The elders buried him beside his daughter's bones, though no one dared say a prayer. That night, the village heard the sound again, the steady thud, thud, thud of a pestle hitting a mortar. When they looked through the window of the hut, the fire was burning blue. And there, standing beside it, was a woman, tall, thin, with golden skin and empty eyes. In her hands was the same pestle her father had used. She was pounding something invisible. Some say it was his soul. Others say it was the sin of the whole village. By dawn, the hut was gone, burned to ash, leaving only a single mortar that still smelled of blood. No one dared to touch it. The land, once cursed, began to heal. The rivers flowed again, and crops grew. But no one spoke Okoro's name. Even today, the elders warn, if you hear pounding in the forest at night, close your doors. They say it is Nkem, still pounding her father's greed into dust. And those who follow greed's voice will hear her song before they die. The old people sing her story in hushed tones, never loudly, for fear she might come. It begins softly. Beware the gold born from blood, for it buys nothing but hunger of the soul. And when the wind passes through the forest, the trees themselves seem to echo. Thud, thud, thud. Some travelers say they still see her, a glowing woman walking between the trees. She carries a pestle on her shoulder, searching for hearts blackened by greed. And when she finds one, the sound returns, thud, thud, thud. The villagers of Abodonto no longer steal from the sacred grove. The shrine now stands silent, guarded by fear. Children grow up hearing the tale, never fully believing it, until the night the pounding begins again. Some say it comes from the forest. Some say it comes from within. Because greed, once awakened, never truly dies. It hides in the heart, waiting for hunger to call it. And when it answers, someone always pays the price. Okoro's story remains a forbidden one, told only when thunder rumbles. For thunder, they say, is the voice of the gods reminding men what happens when they eat what is not theirs. And somewhere in the forest, the peso still pounds, forever echoing the price of greed.